What's up, what's happening, what's going on, folks, and welcome back to another episode of the Fish and Films Movie Reviews. I'm Matt Fischioni, and welcome to the one and the only talk show where we talk, review, and recommend movies. Thank you all for joining me on the very first episode of the fall semester. It feels great to be back here in the studio talking about with you guys something I am very passionate about, and that is movies. Now, guys, if you haven't noticed, someone isn't here at the studio, and I'm here to tell you that my pal and partner in crime, Sam Chips Cohen, he will not be joining us for the fall semester. He is actually in Spain right now, studying abroad, which means I'll be taking over for you guys. And I'm going to start today's episode with Todd Phillips' Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck.
For my whole life, I didn't know if I even really existed. But I do. And people are starting to notice.
Guys, this movie is hyped up as one of the most anticipated movies of the year. It's showing in the Venice Film Festival. It got an 8-minute standing ovation. It also won the Golden Lion Award for Best Picture. But I will say that there is some controversy with the film. A lot of people have been saying, some mass shootings might be involved with the opening premiere. And to be honest, when we talk about who plays the best Joker, obviously the name Heath Ledger has to come into mind. Because not only was his performance one of the best in comic book movies, but his performance has to be one of the best performances in all time in just straight up movies. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I feel like Joaquin Phoenix is going to kill this role. I feel like he's going to do just as good of a job, if not better, than Heath Ledger. And about the controversy, I can't say anything much because the movie hasn't even come out yet. But that does not stop me from going to that theater, coming back here and reviewing that movie for you guys. Speaking of comic book movies, we got a movie to review for you guys, and that movie is one of my favorites that I saw over the summer, and that is Spider-Man Far From Home, starring Tom Holland as he goes on a trip to Europe with his friends, and when all things are said and done, he doesn't have to put on the suit, he doesn't have to fight bad guys. Nope, that ain't the case, because there are some bad guys in Europe, and none other than Mysterio himself, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, saves the day, and he teams up with Tom Holland. I gotta say, Tom Holland is very good in this role. He is born to play Peter Parker. His grievance of Tony Stark's death after Avengers Endgame played a huge factor in this film. His obsession with MJ and falling in love with her and asking her out, also played a huge factor, and I loved his portrayal. Jake Gyllenhaal, guys, I'm just gonna say it. He's freaking Jake Gyllenhaal. Every role that he plays in, he sells it, and I was sold on by Mysterio. He did an excellent job. And him teaming up with Holland, their connection, I really enjoyed it. Personally, it was my favorite part of the entire movie. All the other performances were great as well. The comedy was absolutely hilarious. But I will say that there were a couple scenes I felt like that were unnecessary. Especially there was a train scene where Spider-Man was hit after the illusion.
I really am sorry.
You guys know what I'm talking about, but besides that, the action scenes, I gotta tell you, compared to Homecoming, it was a lot better because when you look at Homecoming, some of the action scenes were, kind of rushed out, kind of a bit out of place, but Far From Home, it took its time and it gelled well very nicely. And I gotta say, out of all the movies that I saw this summer, this has to be one of my favorite ones and definitely one of my favorite Spider-Man movies. It is not near as close as Into the Spider-Verse and definitely nowhere close than Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 because no offense to all you Tom Holland fans out there, we all know that Tobey Maguire is obviously the best Spider-Man. But anyways, for those reasons, I'm going to give Spider-Man Far From Home an 8 out of 10. And honestly, I hope that the deal with Sony and Disney is open. I feel like the door is not closed yet. I feel like in the future, we're going to get a third Spider-Man film with Tom Holland, where all the other Spider-Man, both live action and animation, are going to come together. I'm talking Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, even Miles Morales' Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse. And as a big Spider-Man fan, I would love to see that movie, and I know you guys will too, because on that note, we are all out of time. I want to thank everyone here for joining me on the first episode back. Until next time, I'm Matt Fischioni, and tune in for our next episode of the Fish and Films Movie Reviews. Woo!